Beating the casino is possible, but it requires abandoning the high dopamine rush of gambling and completely committing to strict, tedious mathematical systems. To figure out if it's worth the effort, we have to look at the true return on investment of different games. That is the only way to separate those paying a stupid tax from those making a calculated investment. If you play long enough, the math dictates that they take your cash. There are no clocks, no windows, and they use physical chips, so it stops feeling like you're spending real money. Which brings up a serious question. We all hear the phrase, "the house always wins." Is that an absolute, unbreakable rule? Or is there a legitimate mathematical way to leave a casino with actual profit? Look at this chart. It compares the multi-billion-dollar revenue of the casino industry to the profits of advantage players. But a tiny fraction of gamblers actually extract wealth out of the building. Let's start with the baseline games, like roulette and traditional slots. These are games of negative expected value. Every square on that roulette wheel has an exact mathematical probability, and the payout is always slightly lower than the true odds of hitting it. If you want to make money, you have to find games where you stop playing against the house entirely. That brings us to poker. The casino's business model for poker is completely different. They simply take a flat percentage, a rake, out of every pot. Because their profit is guaranteed by that fee, they do not care who wins or loses the hand. Your return on investment here relies entirely on exploiting the emotions and strategic flaws of the human beings sitting across from you, rather than trying to beat a mathematical house edge. But the upfront cost to establish that edge is huge. You have to sink hundreds of hours into studying complex game theory and maintain strict emotional regulation so you don't make irrational bets when you get frustrated. You also need a large chunk of liquid cash just to weather the bad luck. Even if you make all the right choices, natural statistical variance dictates that you will face severe losing streaks. Poker offers a genuine path to profit, but you have to abandon the idea of the casino as a playground and treat the card room like a ruthless, exhausting job. There is a second way to beat the house, and it lives out on that flashing casino floor: hunting progressive slot machines. Unlike a standard machine, a progressive slot has a top prize that isn't fixed. Every time a player puts money in and loses, a portion of that dollar gets added to the main jackpot, making it grow larger and larger over time. This chart shows the rising jackpot. Because the prize pool inflates, it crosses a critical line called positive expected value. Below this threshold, you are mathematically guaranteed to lose. But the moment it crosses the line, the math flips. You become the statistical favorite. The trade-off is endurance. You need immense patience to wait out the machine until that specific threshold is hit, and you will need a massive bankroll just to survive hundreds of dead spins before the jackpot finally triggers. Playing progressive slots this way strips all the psychological illusions out of the game. It turns a flashy, exciting gamble into a cold math equation. Then there is the most historically proven method of advantage play: counting cards in blackjack. The strategy relies on tracking the ratio of remaining high cards to low cards in the dealer's shoe. When the deck is heavy with face cards, the mathematical edge shifts away from the house and directly to the player, telling you when to increase your bet. The problem is that casinos know exactly how this math works too. They actively monitor their tables to identify winning players and neutralize the threat. If a pit boss suspects you are changing your bet sizes to match a count, the immediate countermeasure is forced flat betting. They restrict you from increasing your wager right when the math is actually in your favor. If they confirm your strategy, they will hit you with the ultimate consequence: an outright ban from playing blackjack on their property. Card counting is a perfect mathematical strategy, but because you are guaranteed to face severe casino retaliation, the real-world return on investment for learning it today is practically useless. The casino is not a monolithic trap. It is two entirely different environments, and your experience depends entirely on how you engage with the math. Look at this framework. Before you ever walk into a casino, you have to answer one core question: why are you there? You have to choose between entertainment and profit. If you take the entertainment path, you are paying for the thrill. You should head straight for roulette and the standard slots, knowing your expected return is $0. The mandatory rule for this path is treating your budget exactly like a concert ticket. You must assume that cash is completely gone the moment you walk through the doors. If you choose the profit path, you have to become a strict optimizer. You must aggressively ignore 95% of the games on the floor. Your night ends in one of two places: engaging in the human warfare of the poker room, or grinding out the math on high-value progressive slots. That is the trade-off. Choosing the profitable path means sacrificing the casual, high-dopamine social experience entirely. Gambling is only a stupid tax if you expect to win at negative EV games. Once you understand the math, you either happily pay for the entertainment or you ruthlessly execute the numbers.